The River Tean has carved a deep gorge through the northern edge of Dartmoor here, and it's created this spectacular place. For a long period of time, access here was heavily restricted, and so it was like something that was hidden away. It's a real discovery, not only for people coming for the first time, but for me every day. I find the occasional big old oak tree that I've never seen before, or a big old veteran piece of coppice, and so it means a lot to me in terms of my day-to-day job, and I feel really privileged to be doing it. We're by the river here, and this is a fantastic spot for families, and this has been a beauty spot since Edwardian times, so people have visited here. But the gorge has been part of people's lives for much, much longer. The woodlands here were managed for 400 or 500 years for oak coppice, and that was used for charcoal and many other local needs, and bark for tanning. In more recent time, during the 20th century, the woodland here was converted to conifer. And so this place has been a really important factor in a lot of people's lives locally for a long, long period of time. And consequently, a lot of people have an emotional tie here and feel the place is a really important spot. You know, we need to take the greatest care when we manage this landscape. Ancient woodland is really important because it's a resource that can't be replaced. We can't plant a field of trees tomorrow and imagine that's going to be an ancient woodland in 10 years' time. And the reason for that is because the soils that have developed under those woodlands for decades, centuries and thousands of years are really key to actually restoring the woodland.
I started working out in the woods when I was 13 3/4. Cutting down old coppice wood. That's all it used to be then, from Clifford Bridge right the way up to, you know, where Druval Castle is.
Is this a destruction of woodland? Isn't cutting trees down bad? Actually, this is the first stage of a coppice cycle, one of our most sustainable and ancient woodland management techniques. It also creates a diversity of woodland habitats, which supports a huge range of our native plants and animals. Coppicing takes advantage of the natural process by which trees regrow. It involves cutting down a tree to its base and then allowing it to reshoot multiple stems. After 7 to 20 years, depending on the species, the stems can be cut and the cycle restarted. Most of our broadleaf trees, including ash, alder, sweet chestnut and the hazel that we have here, coppice really well. By cutting a different area of your wood every year, you create a cycle of coppice coops. This creates a range of coppice structures and provides a mosaic of habitats for wildlife. When you cut your coppice, the stems should be cut close to the ground. This leaves a stump called a stool. Make sure that your cuts are clean and angle them away from the centre of the stool so that rainwater runs off to the ground. Wood produced from coppice has traditionally been used in fencing and as firewood. You might wish to heat your own home from your wood. Typically, a hectare of woodland managed as coppice could supply enough wood to heat an average house.
Now let's join another firing party, so to speak, the Forestry Girls. They're members of the Women's Land Army. And on this Norfolk estate, their work consists mainly of clearing smaller timber and planting new trees. The lumber jills are not expected to be fellers, if you know what I mean. There are about 100 girls on the estate, and they come from all walks of life. Typists, hairdressers, shop assistants, dressmakers, telephone operators, domestic secretaries, actresses. These are only some of the peacetime jobs of the Forestry Girls of today. Yes, these are young fir trees they're planting, and they'll be fairly well grown in about 60 years' time. Hats off then, lads, to the girls of the British backwoods. They're doing some grand work on the home front.
You cut down trees and little sapling stuff. For a 2'6", it was all went used for pit props then. Else poles 20 foot long that were taken away and then used on the moor to stop German gliders. 2 shillings and 8pence a week. They were transported from where we were on the old sidling ground with a horse and a sledge. Sometimes it was 2 horses and a sledge because the sledge itself was 4 or 5 foot wide and about 8 foot long, and had runners on and 8 inches high, I suppose. So they go over the stumps.
We're in Fingle Woods, down by the river. We're extracting some small Douglas fir thinnings using the horses. The ground conditions by the river are very wet, so the impact the horses make is minimal or unnoticeable when we've left, rather than if we've got a tractor and a trailer in there, you'd be able to see the ruts for years to come. This is Bino. He's a Contour, which is a French working breed. He's quite heavy set, as you can see. Very good working temperament. He's a good working horse. On the flats, he'll probably haul 300 kilos all day. If we're working on a hillside coming down, probably pull twice his body weight, which is about 1.5 tons.
You went for charcoal, you cut your wood into 4 foot lengths, it didn't matter what size they were, and you stacked it in a length 8 foot long and 4 foot high. And for that, you got paid 10 shillings. That was 1 cord of wood, because 1 week I used to get paid for 5 cord. One week I got paid for 6, because I used to work Saturday mornings as well then. The 2 Saturday mornings, you could do 1 cord a day.
The problem with a lot of the crops here at Fingle in particular is they've been undermanaged for a long time. Unless we actually start to thin these, we'll end up with lots of tall, very thin poles which won't have much value. Thinning them actually increases the value, and it allows us to put timber into the local market. Coming in here, we're removing roughly 1 in every 7 rows, but whilst we're doing that, we're introducing more light, more native broadleaves will start to establish, and we'll see the ground flora slowly begin to restore.